day 4 of the Radio Free Skaro Fluid Links Advent Calendar. Today's question comes from B Kitty on Twitter as well. The question is this: would you watch raw studio footage of modern Doctor Who if it was available?
This is a Stephen question.
It is a me question.
Yes, it definitely is. I would say, well, I'll just answer it, not for you, Stephen, for me.
No, I'm
sure. I wouldn't watch it for 25 hours like Steven does, but I'd certainly dip into it and check it out. It'd be interesting.
I'd be intrigued to see what it's like because, you know, we've seen the blooper reels and we've seen Doctor Who Confidential, but, like, you know, I don't know. I'm not aware or I haven't experienced the tedium of a modern television set.
Yeah, it wouldn't be raw studio footage. It would be set up and take down and set up and take down. Having said that, a lot of modern stuff is done in the same way. They never stop recording because that way if they get a good rehearsal or they have a chance thing at a setup or they just don't bother to stop because hard drives are cheap, unlike film. Yeah. So there's less discipline to that. So it wouldn't surprise me if you get kind of the equivalent of raw studio footage out of that.
I would, well, yeah. I mean, obviously this is an easy question, so I'm just basically using this as to outline my reasons to want to. I mean, the bits that we've seen, like the bloopers that are on like some of the David Tennant box sets, have yet to be filmized, which is awesome and cheap at the same time. You realize how cheap Doctor Who still looks before they go into post-production.
I wonder if Whittaker's stuff looks different because of the different lenses and the fact they're shooting it in 4K or probably 8K. It would not surprise me if it looks more like film, but less like you'd think it would. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
There's more of a middle ground there, I would bet.
Like, I don't know what, I mean, you might have a better idea. I only know about studio cameras and 625 lines. So, like, do they, is modern film and television today in HD, is it shot basically on video and filmized afterwards, or is it like filmized?
Yes and no.
In camera?
It's all essentially video or digital,
right?
But it's also a camera that has 13 stops, if not more. It has much more latitude for light, way better lenses. Like it is a film camera in all but the fact that film is going through it. Like all the capabilities are there, and yeah, it won't look. But the other thing is when they shoot it. And they don't, go through colorizing of it. It's probably shot flat, which means it's going to look pretty terrible. Like it's going to look very flat, like raw footage, which is probably they're shooting it raw as in the format raw.
Right.
Looks very flat and sort of brownish because it's designed for you to be able to tweak it as much as possible under the hood in like DaVinci Resolve or whatever they use. So yeah, you could watch that raw studio footage, but it would look not great, to be honest with you. It would look very, very flat. If you want to look at Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, that this was film, where they shot it flat and then they colored it digitally after the fact. It's one of the first films to ever do that. And so they were sending this stuff to the lab, and lab was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And they're like, "Trust us. We know what we're doing here. Just trust us." Oh. So that's what all footage looks like now. It looks kind of flat right out of the camera, and then once you run it through a gamut of color of very talented colorists,
right,
it looks good.
I would find that utterly fascinating. I want to see what the raw, not the format, the actual raw images look like. I think that is just fascinating. You get to see.
Well, that's why they're called raw, because it's uncompressed. It's shot flat.
Oh my God, this has to be a thing. I want to see more of this. I want to see rushes. I want to befriend.
Well, rushes aren't a thing anymore.
No, I know.
That's film.
I want to befriend an editor on Doctor Who, and I want to see all the footage, all of it, every angle, and just send it to me, please. I'll send you.
Now, I say all that. I don't know exactly how they do it in Doctor Who. I assume they probably do it that way because it does give you more latitude in coloring, and in the color correction. But I don't know that for a fact, or the grading.
It makes you appreciate how relatively good TV and Doctor Who specifically looks as shot in those days, because it didn't have any of those post-production effects put on it. You had to make it look good at that moment,
Well, the other thing you noticed, and I saw this was somebody showing a shot of the ship from Cowboy Bebop in the anime, and then the ship in the new show. And the new show footage looks very brown. And you got to wonder how much of that is, well, we are under the gun. Let's just tweak this a little bit.
Ah, yes.
I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know anything specifically about that. But a lot more things look brownish now than they used to, which is a return to the glorious mud of the 70s, maybe, or just people being lazy due to the format.
Probably just that. Chris, would you? What's your feeling on raw studio footage for Modern Who?
I probably wouldn't bother.
Oh.
Wow. After my rant.
Well, I mean, as it was mentioned earlier, there's through we've had confidential and this and that, whatever. But yeah, on I think most predominantly from The Next Doctor, but we've had like all these behind the scenes and the takes and whatever. And it's like, okay, I watched it. I'm good. I'm done. I might watch a little, but it's nothing I'm gonna necessarily go out of my way to consume as Stephen does with
I don't often say this, but you're definitely the sane one of the three.
That's a horrible thing to say.